welcome. Thank you for taking the time to listen to one of our little podcasts. We appreciate it. Today I'm going to talk about something that's a little outside the normal financial planning field, and that is how do we cope with the stresses of what's around us as a business and as people. Our office has a great team of very strong individuals, and they work very hard, and it creates a bit of a foundation for our business. But one of the things that I personally have as some rules in handling stress, the first rule is I never make major decisions whilst I'm under stress. When you're under stress and you're not thinking as clearly as you might, that is a really bad time to make a decision, especially something financial. So that's my number one rule. I'm under stress, it's raining outside, the roof's coming off the house, whatever's happening, okay, we need to make some decisions to survive, I understand that, but generally, no major decisions. The other thing that I do when I'm under a great amount of stress is I look at the situation and I break it down into compartments. Because at the end of the day, if I look at the overall position, what creates stress, and the major thing that creates stress is a feeling of not being in control. So what we need to do is have a look at where we're going and compartmentalise. That's my way of managing it. And what I mean by that is, let's say that I was going to climb a mountain. There's a windy road up it, and there's a road around it. I would have a look at the different access points, have a think about my ability to climb, and then decide which tact. And I might have a goal to go to a certain point, have a look around, and then make a decision of where my next point might be. And that might even be coming back down and starting again. It might be going further this way or that. But breaking it down in the mouth is something that's eatable, something that's small. The old saying, how do I eat an elephant one mouthful at a time? If I go to uni and when I was doing some extensive studies, you go and look at the final exam on your first day, you just simply get in your car and go home. The reality is that you do your work and you consistently work towards the goal, eventually we will get there. So compartmentalising the issues. Some of the issues you might say, well, I can deal with this or I can do something with that. And this particular issue, I can't do anything about. It's out of my control. So if it's out of my control, I'm not going to waste any time in trying to manage it, because it is simply not manageable. A bit like our current isolation. You can manage the fact that you're isolated and how you're going to do it, but the actual decision to isolate or not is not ours. So we have no control on that. So we just basically accept it and get on. And during these times, one of the key components for those people that learn over time to handle these situations, not that you have this type of situation often, but stressful situations, is the people that learn from it. What can we learn from this? And one of the things that we can learn is setting up some budgetary understanding in our family. When I talk to clients sometimes, particularly younger generation, about budgets, their eyes glaze, not interested in a budget. But the reality is the current climate is really highlighting that, because we need to have some backstop in case of an emergency. We can't be spending 110% of our wages consistently. That just isn't going to work, and this is the perfect climate to teach us that lesson. The reality is that I should be compartmentalising, again, my wages and my income. And if I'm in a situation where I'm married and we're bringing in, let's say, $100,000 as a couple, do I spend 100? Do I spend 105? Well, the reality is day-to-day living for the average person is probably $70,000 a year in the current market, probably. So let's say I spend at 70 to live. I need to put some of that money away for a rainy day, which we currently have. So if I put away, let's say a percentage, 15%, so $15,000 gets put away, and I might have $15,000 a year or $300 a week roughly to fund lifestyle events, holidays, etc., etc. So all of a sudden, after 2 or 3 years of doing this, I have the capacity to have access to the surplus funds or savings that I've put away to either build additional wealth, to either save me during a calamity, or to pay down debt. And that's another topic for today, and that is this climate that we're currently in is a real wake-up call about managing debt. Keep our debts under control. Interest rates are cheap, so I should have more. Well, no, interest rates are very cheap, and if I decide that I'm going to invest, it could be financially viable given cheap rates. But if I'm going to be simply spending for lifestyle, what's the point? All I'm doing is digging a hole for the future. So handling stress, compartmentalising our stresses into what I can manage, what I can't manage, compartmentalising my income stream into the family home, and making sure I put some away for times like this, because those people who've got some money away now are able to breathe a lot easier than those that don't. And yeah, have a life, that's fine, but live within your means. Thank you for listening. Look forward to a chat perhaps next week. See how we go. Thank you.